All right, Jeremy here, Jeeps Unlimited, partsbreakers.com, 303-666-9020. I believe this is an 02. I'll confirm that. And 02 is kind of a weird year. So you can go 97, 06, pretty much everything in oil interchange. They'll bolt to the frame the same way. But there are a couple caveats to those swaps. So I always list it as the range that it actually is, or the year, if it is a one-off year. And this, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is an 02. Which was a weird year. It was an intermediate year. And most things will work, like I said, but there's a video online. You can check that out on our YouTube channel that shows you exactly what is entailed. Really, it has to do with the rear seat. That's about it. Or the heater box if you're going to something early. But again, there's workarounds, not too bad. This is a little bit of a different one I'm listing because I'm listing it with a windshield frame, a roll bar, and a tailgate. And we're just trying this out. We might actually start doing them that way more often because almost every single tub gets sold with those parts anyway. People often request those, and it'd be nice to be able to ship these like this. They're a little bit more protected the way we hot shot them without those parts banging around inside of them. And then we can still crack loose, or we will crack loose all the bolts. So you don't have to worry about stripping those out. Those will be either removed. If they are stripped, we'll get them out for you. But right now they're not, and we'll just break them loose. If you see them there, you'll know that they're broke loose, and you can just pull them out, especially if you're going to be painting a different color or something. If you're not going to be painting it, well, you can probably use it as it is. There's a couple dings and dents on this one, but it's in pretty good shape. Overall, there is a secret window there. You see that guy? That's a nice factory option. Just kidding. Not factory option, and totally crappy that somebody did that, but especially on a tub like this, because it's an A tub if it wasn't for that. And because of that, I'll mark it to a B, which just means that you're going to save some money. That money saving there is essentially going to go towards these other parts I'm leaving on it. So if you see this and you wonder, well, why is it the same price as a grade A? Well, it's not. It's a B tub with a windshield frame and a tailgate and a roll bar added on there. All right, and if you don't want to mess with that, that's okay. There's other tubs. This is a really, really good time of year to call me because we're going into our busy season, which means that I've ramped up all of our tubs and frames. We will go usually about until March, April, and then we will be sold out of tubs and frames, and then I have to go find more of them. Over the years, it's been doable. The more and more years that go by, the older these get, it's been harder and harder. So without further ado, let me go into this guy. The main areas we're going to be looking at right now on the bottom of this guy is going to be torque pockets. Torque pockets make or break a tub, okay? And they make a swap way easier for you. But while I am here, I'm going to show you if there's any damage that you may not be able to see from the top side while I do these videos. And you can clearly see that this corner, there's some cracking on this filler. It's had some work done to it. Matter of fact, this wasn't even showing up until we had a really couple cold days the last few weeks. Really cold out here. It's really nice now. And one of the reasons I don't like filler. But this could have been done better. It probably just wasn't prepped right. And it kind of goes to the extent of it. You could, if you wanted to, replace the corner. I don't think it's needed here, but it's definitely something you could do. And it's hard to say what they did. More than likely, I would imagine they dinged into something, but it doesn't feel too bad on the back side of it. And we'll get in here and show you. It's kind of bizarre because if you look at that, it's pretty dang smooth up through here. So somebody beat it out pretty well, or at least I assume that's what happened. It's hard. It's like I said, it's kind of hard to say. Look how clean that is though. And it is an area you can get access to, which is one of the things I always like to point out. There's boxed in areas. That would be something like this. If this was damaged some way, you know, other than the lip, the skirting's a little dinged up, but not too bad. The torque pockets, these are movable. They're captured nuts, torque pockets, whatever you want to call them. They're supposed to move in there, but you can see how clean that rear box is. And that been rusty or something, or a broken bolt, something. This is a blind pocket. They're a little hard to get into. So this one's in excellent shape. There's your nice cutout there. And I actually have the panel. They included that. They were really nice to keep that in there. They had some carpet over. You couldn't actually even tell it was done until I pulled the carpet up. Okay, so we're going to have a total of 10 on the body, torque pockets, captured nuts, whatever you want to call them. There's 2 in the back. There's 2 more here. Nice clean threads, nothing broken off, okay? And then your main ones that run along the actual torque pocket itself. Now, this is in excellent shape. I mean, absolutely just a great example of what an A-grade tub should have underneath it as far as the torque pocket itself goes. These are blind pockets. If these are collapsed or rusted out or whatever, this is a pretty invasive thing to try to get in here and cut out and re-weld. We do sell those. That tub there has got damage on that green one. And part of the reason it's still in the yard is because it's got a good set of factory torque boxes. So they're kind of expensive and they're a pain in the butt, mainly because they're really hard to remove and they're really hard to install. So you'll have some time into that, I'm sure, if you're paying somebody to do it. It's usually just worth it just to have a tub replaced if you're gonna go to that extent. But okay, so 2, 4, and then we got 7, so 3 over there, and then the 10 here. Your 11th one is up on the radiator support there. So, okay, and absolutely, there's not even a hint of cracking at all in these. Are absolutely beautiful. So, okay, otherwise, you got a couple little dingers here, a little bit of surface popping through there. A little hard to see much on this side. You can kind of see it. And that, again, this would be an area, if you look at the extent of that, it comes right about to that lip. So you have full access to repair that from both sides. You don't have to worry about getting into the tub in an area you may not be able to repair. So that's a nice, if you're gonna have to repair something, this is a nice spot to have to repair, because again, having access is nice. But overall in this tub, you can see the seams, they're rotten, they'll rust out pretty quickly. These are beautiful shape, the corners are great. On the inside, I know that one's got some dingers on the outside, and they got a little bit of dings on them, but not too bad. The lower rocker's good. Okay, I took off the seal of the tailgate to show you how clean the tailgate is. Now this is where they'll like to rot. So if you're wondering if you have rot in your tailgate, you're gonna have to pull the seal back. The seal looks like, I think that was the seal I yanked off of it. Okay, you can remove it. It just is pretty easy to put them back on. And I washed it out just so you could see it. But there's absolutely no rust on that tailgate. It's in really, really good shape. And the hinges are still working. Okay, so you can kind of see all the way up in there. So what likely happened is they hit this tail light, because this is, I don't know why people crunch their tail lights, but they did. And I bet it pushed in. And so to level all this out, they got all the way down into here. Clearly, because you can't see any work been done back through this area. So my guess is it was something a little higher up here. So, and again, I'll discount for that and that other little thing and the little dinger here. So this will be, for what you're getting out of this tub, this will be a great deal. Especially if you're chasing your tail with rust. So, okay, I'm gonna get her lowered down, get the forklift out of the way, get some nice shots of it on the inside. So just bear with me for a second. You're gonna see this process. Normally I have this done a little differently, but I wanted the forklift out of the way here. Once I get her listed, I'll bring her up to the upper lot. The upper lot is where no equipment goes. Only I go up there, and I just do that so ensure that nothing gets smacked into. So what you see is exactly what it'll show up as, okay? And I thought I cleaned the firewall a little better. I didn't, but it's still, there's not a spot of rust on this thing. It really is a clean tub. Cowling is good, okay? We will, again, when we loosen these, we always fold the windshield frame down just to make sure there's nothing that we're not seeing on there. But and if you want photos of that when it's all said and done, if you buy this tub, I'd be happy to do that for you. I don't, on this tub, just because it's so clean, I don't think we'll see anything on it. Even the floorboards are super clean. It's got a little dirt down here. I try to spray them out the best I can, but without fully pulling these drain pan plugs. This one's pulled here. These ones are kind of the ones that you don't want to pull. They're a little harder to get back in, but this is just sand we have in the yard. There's some bare metal there from the carpet probably rubbing through, but roll bar pads, excellent shape here. And again, we almost always pull roll bars. So if you don't want the roll bar, you don't want the windshield frame, you don't want the tailgate, you're just looking for a cheap, inexpensive tub like this one would have been without that stuff, and still will be, good deal. That's fine. We can take that stuff off. It's no big deal. And if you'd like us to make sure to ensure the feet of the roll bar aren't rotting through, again, on this tub, I could bet high dollar money that there's not a bit under there, but I'd be happy to do that as well. If you're wanting just to get it and the easiest thing to bolt this thing on and go, especially if you happen to have blue, then Fantastic. And yes, this is a 2002. You can tell it because the firewall's closed in for the heater box, and it does have the traditional early seat in it, the 97 to 01 or 02, we call them 97 02s. There's that little panel, and it fits perfect. That's actually what came out of it. So if you wanted to re-weld it back in and not have that there, why were they doing that? Well, because they got lazy and they want to drop the fuel tank. Probably when a fuel pump went out, is my guess. So, okay. But yeah, great. Nice windshield frame, nice tailgate, nice roll bar. This roll bar happens to break down. There's some of them that do, some of them that don't. You can break them all down, but you got to cut the welds if you don't have this style. This is typically the style when we sell them, we ship them because we can break this down a little bit, save people on freight on them a little bit. Okay, and these little mucks we usually pull. They're for soft top pieces, so those may come off of here, but everything else you see is what you get on it. Okay, questions, comments, feel free, reach out, 303-666-9020. I'm going to take some nice photos of it, get it posted, and rock and roll. Guys, it's 65 degrees in January, and we're in Colorado. We're 4,600 feet. They don't salt the roads. Why we have nice, clean stuff out here. But we were just 3 to 20 degrees 2 weeks ago, and it was freaking cold. So I'm pumped that we're having nice weather like this. Hopefully it stays around, but probably won't January. Anyway, I appreciate it. It's February 2nd, 2025. Super Bowl's next weekend. So yeah, if you're going for one of those teams, the Chiefs or the Eagles, good luck to you guys. Otherwise, I'll be tinkering with Jeeps, I'm sure, or riding the dirt bike, one of the two. We'll see. All right, have a great day.